What happens when you take every single Overlord from Duskmourn and put it into a domain ramp shell? Well, I spent all my mythic wildcards to find out, so you don't have to. Let's go. Welcome to the Attic. Manadad here. It's the channel where we explore what's fun in Magic, mostly on Arena. Today, on Arena, in Standard, Domain Ramp. It's been very powerful deck. People were speculating Overlord of the Hauntwoods here is going to power it up even more, but I had this crazy idea. I had this crazy thought, okay? All of the Overlords play very nicely with none other than Up the Beanstalk. And as long as you've got that enchantment, why not run stuff like Nowhere to Run, Temporary Lockdown, and something to make enchantments into creatures and kill people out of nowhere. Zur Eternal Schemer. It's a very wild, wacky scheme, but I've actually been testing this out on my phone quite a bit, and it does work. But the question is it going to work when I'm recording the games on camera today? Well, that's what we're going to find out. Probably you know this, but this is running a ton of tap lands, so we can get got by the Leyline decks, because Leyline is still, as I record this, not banned. But I expect any minute they're going to ban it, but we'll see. We'll see if I'm right about that. But we do have some Get Lost and some Nowhere to Runs and some Temporary Lockdowns, and hopefully we will draw them when we need them. We'll be able to power up our Leyline Bindings and make it cheap enough to play at instant speed and get them when they play all their, instant speed pump spells and everything. Until such time, we do have one Archangel of Wrath to gain us a little bit of life when we come back. But the main life gain thing is, you might not actually be familiar with this card. I should probably read it. I know I wasn't super familiar with it. 1/4 flying. Enchantment creatures you control have Death Touch, Lifelink, and Hexproof. And of course, all the Overlords are enchantment creatures themselves. But even if you play them in Pending, there's another 1 and a white ability here. Target non-aura enchantment you control becomes a creature in addition to its other types, and has base power and base toughness each equal to its mana value. So we can take, and they still get their attack triggers. So we can you can pay 2 mana to activate an Overlord of the Hauntwoods that's sitting there at Impending, attack for 5, lifelink, it's hexproof, it's death touch, it's gonna make a make a land token named Everywhere, that's every basic land type, turn on our Leyline Binding. Pretty good. Also hiding in the deck is a one of fun of Shemiel the Inner Sun. I was just getting matched up with a lot of control decks with this deck. I don't know how the Arena Matchmaker works, but it seems to think that I want to play against control decks nonstop. So I just thought it would be funny, because eventually a control deck can tap out, and then if you can drop this, then it's good game. I mean, they might have removal for it, but it can be good game, because spells you control can't be countered, and that's kind of fun. And I went up from 2 Cavern of Souls to 3 Cavern of Souls in the current build, because we can put that on Avatar, and we kind of need it, because these have a lot of double pip costs. So 4 of Overlord of the Hauntwoods, 1 each of the other ones, just to show you how good it is. And 4 of Herd Migration, and 4 of Leyline Binding. Down to 2 Sunfalls. I was at 3. You could probably go back to 3. But anyways, we'll stick around to the very end, and you can see the win rate, and we can talk about some of the choices that were made, some of the choices I might change after playing through some more games. But in any case, do stick around and see this deck in action, because the Zur surprise is delightful. Okay.
Hey, it's me, Overlord of the Hauntwoods. Actually, haunting and overlording are just my hobbies. My day job is managing the YouTube algorithm. I try to make sure lots of negative, conspiracy-laden clickbait shows up in your feed. You know, nightmare fuel. Whatever you do, don't like, comment, or elder gods forbid, subscribe to a channel like this one, okay? We don't need your feed filled up with people who genuinely enjoy playing Magic like this so-called Manadad. He puts deck lists and other useful links in the description. He even shows real win rate stats at the end of the videos. Yikes. Clicking on positive, helpful videos takes away from the time I could be spending haunting woods or putting my friend Writhing Chrysalis into draft boosters. but you don't have to take it from me. 9 out of 10 players who want to unban grief agree. Now let's see. What is your racist uncle clicking on today? He has impeccable taste. Let me send some of those videos your way.
Playing this weird, wacky build. I haven't seen anybody else playing this style, although there was an article by Frank Karsten that kind of suggested it. But in any case, Hushwood Verge is in the mana bases now. I didn't mention that in the deck tech, but there it is. Okay, well, we've got temporary lockdown, so not going to be playing Zur anytime soon. Portico can turn on the Verge. Not a lot of mana or land types for Leyline Binding. Opponent is a Jace. Maybe we're going to be glad to have the Negate if we can ever get blue. Let's see what Harley Quinn is up to over here. Okay, mulligan. They thought a lot about it. Another mulligan they didn't think as much about. Are they just mulliganing for Leylines is the question. Okay, another mulligan. Well, they might just scoop. If you don't find what you're looking for after 3 mulligans, what's it going to be, opponent?
I do not have time for this. I do not have time for you.
Gone down to 3 cards. Underground Mortuary, we can keep that. Black will help with Leyline. Help with Zur. Optimistic Scavenger. Okay, so it's the red-white enchantment deck. Lockdown is going to be good here. Up the Beanstalk. And hold on to that. Heartfire Hero. And would you care to play your last card, opponent, so that we can completely wipe your board? They would. They are, however, going to hit us for damage. Let's see if this gets a scoop. And the red-white enchantment deck was showing the best stats last time I checked. Okay. Leyline Binding is now 2 mana. Draw a card. Yeah, let's just pass the turn. You can try to 2-for-1 them here. You get to flip over a card. If they hit a land, I guess they got something out of it. There we go. The plains of all things. We don't have red. We could go find red. We can actually do... You know, this is hilarious. Let's do Zur. Just to show you Zur. Right off the bat. For those who wanted to see it in action. Boom. They lose 6, we gain 6. An opponent finally scoops it up. Well, it's a valiant opponent, but no match for the Overlords. This is potentially a rough keep because we don't have any green. We're unlikely to draw the double red. I think I'm just going to mulligan it, despite having 3 lands. Okay, we can keep this. Can send back... probably actually Bale Merc. Get our white mana online as soon as possible. Ooh. What did opponent play? Green black. I think nowhere to run is useful. Problem is we can't play it. We don't have black mana. So let's just... Might regret not playing it there, but... okay, well, they're not putting anything onto the battlefield, so let's do that. And then we got green coming up, so we can Overlord, and then we're set on our colors. Once we've made an everywhere token. We can straight up play Overlord of the Flood Pits next turn. Have a feeling they are some kind of Golgari control deck. Possibly with a lot of enchantment removal. We shall see. Ancient Cornucopia. Not super worried about that. Ooh, we have to discard a card. I'm gonna ditch the Sunfall. It doesn't look like they're gonna be flooding the board. Fully expecting this to just eat removal. Fountain Port. Okay, no. You can let me get the attack trigger? They are. Okay. I suppose I'll discard a land. Well, it takes the damage. Okay. We need one more land where we can cast Herd Migration. Overlord ticks down. Now they're going for an outrageous robbery. Wow. Okay. I don't have my one of Negate. I guess that happens. Be fighting against my own deck now. If they're just playing my lands. That's good for them, though, because they've got... Well, actually, they don't have a swamp. They got up to Beanstalk. Okay, well, let's... Leyline Bind that. Before they get any more value out of it. Golgari Control. Take out their Cornucopia, too. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't take out a Cornucopia. We can Leyline Bind their Cornucopia. They're willing to tap out to do so. Aha! Now who's beanstalking? Oh, now we gotta discard a card. Are we gonna want a Sunfall against ourselves? I think we'll just lose the Zur. Well, the Zur could close out this game very quickly, actually. I guess we'll get rid of the red Overlord. Much as it is awesome. Don't need a land next. So next turn, they might wipe the board here. Next turn we can Herd Migration. Do our attacks first. Nowhere to run. Okay. And take out our Overlord of the Flood Pits. They still got 2 more of our own cards to use. Now, they might have been running their own Nowhere to Run, but I think that tech is fairly peculiar to myself. I don't see a lot of other people running it. Sacrifice and draw a card. Okay. What a control player we've got over here. Well, let's just make a bunch of beasts and draw a card. We have so many cards we could just replace themselves. Cornucopia is back. Okay, temporary lockdown. It's actually fairly painful. We can remove it and get those back, but not yet. See how many of those they've got. I think we only have 2 in the deck. Okay, opponent. Just test you for board wipes every turn. Actually, probably had lethal there by just playing Zur and animating instead. Oh well. Opponent.
I do not have time for this. I do not have time for you.
Okay, you can take out one of my guys. One of my beast tokens. I think they're trying to figure out how much they've lost. Okay. Let's see if I blow this up, if that just gets the scoop. Oh, I thought we had other stuff trapped under there. I guess they got the Nowhere to Run. All right. We are forced to test them for instant speed removal. Death touch, lifelink, hexproof. Okay. You can gain some life. And some more life, but still, they gotta be taking enough there. Huh? Got him. Here we go. Domain ramp. With all the overlords. You take the domain ramp, and you just add overlords. Shadowy Backstreet. Opponent is going first. We don't have green. can get 1 green here, so we just have to draw into a green with our shadowy backstreet. It is a super, super risky keep.
There should be no risk management. Study risk-taking, not risk management.
Risky business.
Never didn't have it. Hidden Necropolis. I think we'll keep Nowhere to Run. Feeling pretty good about it. I can cast it off the back street. We've got the Hushwood Verge. We can go find maybe a forest with herd migration, so we can Overlord. They're Overlord of the Baelmarken. Markers. They find a bat. They can know where to run the bat. Or demon. Guess I can still play Overlord next turn without. So yeah, let's just flash this in. You get to see my hand opponent, but you don't get to take any cards. Bat, bat, bat. That bat. So good. We're still impending. Okay, we will be naming Avatar. It is a very important movie. Don't let anyone tell you different. James Cameron. And then next turn, probably just hold up Nowhere to Run and Negate, but... Oh, okay. Or we could... Nowhere to Run now. Nowhere to run to, baby. Oh, right, it comes back. But I'm planning on Sun falling once this flips, so I think we'll be good. So if I get 1 more land, I can double Archangel of Wrath. I can guarantee I'll get 1 more land. Demonic Council. Search your library for a demon. Put it into your hand. One for Bloodletter, but they can't cast it yet. What do I want to take? More likely to need white mana, I suppose. I've already got every color and everywhere. So I could Archangel, take out the Slasher. Maybe that gets them to bring down stuff for Bloodletter. Or I just sit back. Because they probably... Yeah, they probably want to put down Bloodletter next turn. Maybe they don't. Archangel can take out Bloodletter. So there's Bloodletter. Yes, indeed. And, Sunfall you? Pass the turn. Oh, look, I have an Overlord. Opponent still playing it out, though, so what are their last 3 cards? Gonna cash in the Necrop. Necropolino. Well, guess I'll negate that. Oh, I don't need more lands. Thank you very much. Do I keep Archangel of Wrath in hand, or do I just play it? I think I just play it. There's a good chance opponent just tries to exile our last card. With the old ruthless negotiation. Okay. They're gonna double. Okay, they're cut down. They're 2 for 1 themselves. Oh, now of course I draw the Beanstalk. Why wouldn't I? And a Lush Portico. Surveil me something good. Ooh, Zur. We might get a chance at a Zur win here. Steve Zerwin. A token. Overlord of the Baelmer. Cardcast. Finds. Did they get the bat or the bloodletter? Almost certainly the bloodletter. Well, no, they can play the bat this turn. Find I have a Cavern of Souls. They can't take it. So, Zur time. And do I even throw the Beanstalk into the mix? Why not? Play this on Avatar, it's fine. Attack with everything. They're at pseudo 6. They block, so they don't block the Death Touchers. I think that's lethal. GG's. Boom. Got him. Up against Hot Papa. That's what I am. Some people. We can keep this. So at least we can beans next turn. Actually, we probably want to herd migration. Discard. Sorry, Zur. You're a late game strategy. Hopeless Nightmare. Huh. I think I just lose a land. Might regret that, but now that I got beans out, hopefully I can just keep drawing cards. These ley lines. Leyline of the Veil. Okay.
Nobody knows Dominaria's shadows like me. You won't be outsmarting me.
Suppose I'll lose this. Get lost to Liliana.
Luck favors the foolish. after
I have
all.
multiple ways to draw cards now in hand. Discard, discard, discard black. Always making discard attacks. Rather than discard that, well, maybe we would rather. Yep, ton of bones. We'd rather lose Beanstalk. Oh my goodness. They got us on that. Boiler Builders we can't even play. Did we just get Liliana locked here? So frustrating.
Drop it.
Ah, finally.
This isn't how things were supposed to go.
Well, no cards in hand, and then just try and get us opponent. They scry. We can redraw with this. Just hope whatever we draw we can play. Aklazats. Why would they play two? Oh, I guess it's not. Oh, let's wait until we attack. Last turn. Try to play your haha. Or Beans into what? What does Beans find us? Cavern of Souls on Avatar. Alright, with the right cards, we just start drawing our whole deck. They can hit us for a bunch, though. Uh-oh. Actually, can they get this to 6? They can. No opponent. Oh. Oh, GG's. GG's. It did double the 6. Up against Z-Cab. That's some kind of like rearrange the letters or something. Bazags. Zach Ba. Oh, let's look at his hand. Well, opponent is going first. We do have a Sunfall if we can ramp there fast enough. Let's keep it. Try for it. We're good on lands. Oof. Probably don't need this Overlord at the moment. I'm going to go for the forest with the herd migration. These black decks. We got a slasher. We got a slasher. We'll get the forest, but we can, well, we can slow down the slasher with nowhere to run. And fall exiles anyway. Okay, there's the bloodletter. Yeah, so 2 untapped lands. We could Hauntwoods and then just hold up Sunfall, or we could not do either. I don't think we need the Hauntwoods going. Let's do the tap land. What is there? We'll keep the Zur. It's probably a little bit of a showy keep. Hits us for 4. That we can take. And then Sunfall you. Cut down their Slasher, but their Slasher's exiled because it has the counters on it, so it just makes a smaller incubator token. Okay, opponent, you do you. Shieldred. Leyline Binding. So we could play Zur. We can't quite Zur and animate something. We can play Zur and bind the Shieldred. And Surveil once more. I think we're going to need all our removal in this game. Opponent seems to be pretty heavy on removal. Well, Beans I'll take, actually. Next turn we can Beans Overlord. That seems pretty good. Yet another Shieldred. Well, now Beans does seem a bit rough against Shieldred. How much damage are we willing to take? Let's say Avatar. Alright. We'll take 2 damage just to see what we draw. Opponent's got Shieldreds for days. But I'm going to take another 2 damage for this card. So I'm telling you, I don't really have a lot. Just hold up Negate. That's the turn. They can gain life, that's fine. Unholy Annex. Yeah, no. Not a big fan of that one. Animate, nowhere to run. Take 2 damage. Alright, so I gotta take a damage here. I gotta take 2 more damage to remove this Shieldred. Ouchie. They could still have removal. I don't think I want to risk animating the Leyline Bindings yet. Let's just get in with these guys with lifelink and pass the turn. All right, I think if they had removal, they would have removed Zur by now. Bloodletter of Eklazats. Yes. Not tapping out. Aha, there they are tapping out. Okay. Well, let's play this, draw a card. Bit of trouble if they have one more piece of removal. They kill the Leyline Binding. They get their Shieldred back. They duress us. Haha. Dead draw. That's good. Now they can't even activate their Necropolis. They need the Bloodletter to block. They no longer have it. Yes! Got revenge against discard. Okay, win rates. How do we do? A 56% win rate. Only 25% on the play, but 80% on the draw, interestingly. Yeah. I probably should have quit after 5 games because we won the first 3. It would have been a 60% win rate, but kind of got mana screwed in one of the games and just felt like I needed to play some other ones and hit some more losses. So anyways, still a very good deck, and I hope you got to see what it did. I mean, still ranked us up over the course of an hour, albeit very minimally because we are in Platinum and it's tough competition. Get Lost seems good. The Negate actually was pretty good. The one of Negate. Nobody's expecting that from this deck. So I kind of like that tech. Nowhere to Run was good, especially against the stuff with Ward. Up the Beanstalk, definitely do not cut any of those. Temporary Lockdowns, 3 has seemed like a pretty decent number, although just is going to depend on the meta that's going on at the time. If there's lots of decks with small stuff running around, it's really good. If not, it's kind of a non-bow with Up the Beanstalk. I think you hopefully got a game in here where you got to see Zur do its thing. I'm pretty sure it did it in the first game. So this is a lot of fun. I think if you're making this competitive, you maybe just go down to 1 of or even 0. But Archangel of Wrath, I don't know. I had 2 of these in. I trimmed it down to 1. 1 has been fine. The real main thing is it's like one of the few cards that can be found by Overlord of the Baelmerk. So there's that. If you're definitely keeping in Baelmerk, you might consider upping Archangels. Sunfall, just 2 of those that, to be honest, was feeling like the right number for the current meta. I guess there was one game where it was like I had to draw Sunfall or lose, and I lost because I didn't draw Sunfall. But what are you going to do? Shamil, that might be too cute. You could probably cut that. Flood Pits. This just losing to 3 damage removal makes this card not so great in my eyes. So I think if you want to go down Flood Pits and like go up the White Overlord or the Red Overlord or something, that's perfectly understandable. It is a little bit more card draw in the deck, because if we don't get Beanstalk, it's nice to have something else as card draw. And if you just want to think of it as card draw and any avatarness is a bonus, I mean, that's not too bad. It's pretty, it's good. It's a 5/5 if you reanimate it with Zur. So there's that. Don't cut any of the Overlord of the Hauntwoods. This is definitely a 4 of in this deck. Leyline Binding, likewise. Boiler Bilges, didn't really get to see that in action. I think this would have been better if it split the 4 damage, so you could take out 2 2/2s or something. As it is, it might just be a bit overcosted. It might be one that you cut. This Overlord of the Mistmoors, I never feel bad when I get this on the board. I guess it's a little bit overcosted for 2/1 flyers for 4, but maybe not. And we can get to 7 mana, no problem. So that's another one to consider upping the number of. Herd Migration's great. You could probably go down to 3, but I think 4 of is still the right call. And the mana base, I did my best based on, other mana bases for decks like this, but I'm sure there is higher level math that you can do. If you decide these are the cards I want to run, then there's probably better ways to portion out the number of Surveil lands and the Verges and the Caverns of Souls and all that to make sure we're hitting our key cards, especially Leyline Binding. I feel like this deck is not turning on Leyline Binding as fast as it could. And it might just be a matter of we need some Surveil lands that are like more off color, like blue, red or something. Might help. I don't know. Probably short 1 land too. I think this is supposed to be at least a 25 land deck, and I think we're only running 24. Could be wrong on that. No, it says 24 lands. Okay, so thanks for everybody who stuck around for the analysis. You are the true Magic players. Thanks for joining me in the attic. Remember, Magic is a game so fun, even dads can enjoy it. Adios.